Everybody, it's December 1915, and it is the Central Powers' turn, and they finally made contact with the Russian line. They assess the situation and go, maybe we have to reassess what we have for forces up here, and they may be reconsolidating and seeing what their best units are for the attack, so they did not do anything. Here, the line basically advanced a little bit. Because it's wintertime, they can only advance the supply line by one. So they're trying to keep all their units in supply. This unit right here was out of supplies, but it's now in supply. Over here, they're advancing it down this rail line. The Austrians did attack. They did attack right here. Was kind of a failed attack. They had one attacker exchange where they lost a bunch of troops to the defender. They did have an exchange where they took out one Russian unit and one of their own. So overall, it was sort of a Pyrrhic victory, I guess, because the Russians are sort of behind when it comes to troops. But the Austrians can't really afford to lose more. Here, this unit's now no longer demoralized, but it's now being supported by some Germans. So the supply line got pushed back a little bit. They're trying to relieve the pressure that's happening over here over at Odessa. The Austrians moved up a new set of units, using up what they have left for rail, and railed them up to the front. The Germans did use some of the Austrian rail supply line because, well, they see the Bulgarians are having problems. So they took some German units, railed them all the way here, and that's how far they could get, but they're outside of Sofia. But there are Germans now in Bulgaria. I guess the Bulgarians are probably not happy that they have to get assistance in this battle, but there's not much they can do against the British other than get a bunch of 1 to 2 attacks. That's pretty much what they can do. And I think the sad story is Turkey's done. Basically, there's their massive, undemoralized army. There's the one city they have left. And they have a demoralized unit right here that can't attack. So, yeah, it's done. It's a done dinner. Turkey is going to be out of the war. There's nothing they can do to stop the British from taking out their country. Nothing at all. So, come the Allied turn, it will be no more Turkey in the war. So I guess the King of England is getting a Christmas gift. He's going to get turkey for Christmas. I guess that is kind of cool. All right. So that is everything for the Allied turn. Actually Central Power turn. Now we're moving on to the Allied turn. All right. We'll see what happens, and we'll be back. All right, here it is, December 1915, and the Russians are still dug in over here. They built some new units and got some reinforcements that came in and formed another extension to their Moscow line. Over here, they're still dug in and did nothing. And over here, whoa, what's this? Those are British troops in Russia. Yes, the Brits have invaded Russia to assist their cousins over here. Yes, they have the cousins ruling the empire over here. So they moved some troops in, shipped them in by boat, and unloaded them over there at Sevastopol and railed them over to here and unloaded them. So now there's some British troops in Russia using their supply line. They figured they needed a little assistance down here in the southern area, so they moved them in and be help forming up, maybe even going on the offensive. We don't know. The Brits are pretty aggressive. Let's just put it that way. And over here, they're still dug in. They moved their troops down the line. They're going to try to reopen the supply lines on this end of it. They're just being supplied by sea over here to Odessa at the moment. And over here, there was a battle. Well, there was one battle down here. The unit that was right here, the Turkish unit that was there, was destroyed by the Brits, taken out. because they were demoralized already and they had some bonuses to even attack them. They took the last city. They didn't have any way to defend against that. So Turkey is now officially gone. So these guys are going to have to go into the bag of death. And then, which means next month, these units over here will start to move back into the game. So they'll start resupplying elsewhere. So all these units will be moving. I think the first one would be the Anzacs. This unit right here, that's going to be put into the battle someplace. All right, so they're moving on to was it Varna. These guys are marching that direction. They did have one battle. These guys, this unit here, attacked and got a demoralized on these guys and pushed them back. And now they're starting to develop that city. Unless something happens with the Germans assisting someplace, this city, I think, is going to go the way, I don't know if they can handle being hit by all those Brits. And the Brit supply line is basically everything that you see here in Turkey is at the end. That's the most they can throw in. The rest of their supplies are being used for shipping of what troops they had over there. Well, you don't see anymore because they're shipping more troops. So that is the full extent of what happened in the Allied turn. Except for there was one American unit did show up. And it looks like, okay, we're going to France. No, we can't go to France because France is gone. So we are free agents now. We can go anywhere we want to. So they got on a boat with some Brits. You probably figure out where they're going to end up. We might be seeing Americans over here in Russia forming a new line. So it's got to happen. It's like you got to fight the Germans one way or the other. I guess it starts in Russia. So that's the full extent of the Allied turn. Not a lot, but some things did happen. All right, we'll do that. All right, everybody. It is December 1915, and we have to do the end of the year activities, war weariness, and all that fun stuff. So here we have the chart. On a 7 or less, there's no effect. On a, as you see here, your replacement points are slowly degraded by your war weariness, and this is all modified by certain die rolls. So you look at this chart right here. The first one we're going to do Germany, and it hasn't lost Berlin. It hasn't lost any major cities. It did not declare war on the Netherlands. So the result is on a 4. So they have no effect in the game. So right now, Germany is very happy that they're at war. All right, so next is Austria-Hungary. It has not lost Vienna, and it has not lost any major cities. So we roll the die, and a 10. Austria-Hungary is not really liking this war very much right now. It's reducing its infantry replacement points by 30% and reducing artillery by 1. So basically, they have 8 replacement points at the moment, and they get 30% less than that, so that's roughly 3. So now they're only going to get 5 replacement points for building up their infantry and 1 artillery point. So that's going to be a major problem for the Austrians, because they are having problems then. Okay, Ottoman Empire. Well, sorry to say, they're no longer in war. They lost Constantinople, and they lost all these, no rail link with Budapest. So yeah, basically they are out of the war. Bulgaria, for each major city or minor city that they have lost. All right, they haven't lost any yet. And they roll a 3, which is nothing. Okay, so Bulgaria hasn't lost any interest in this war yet. France is out. Italy. Okay, Italy is really just parked over there doing nothing. This is kind of a mute point. They're all 5, so nothing happened with them. Now Britain. Okay, submarine warfare. No, that starts in 17. It's not going on. U.S. is unit in Britain or France, they had the big red 1, so there's a -1 to the die roll. So the worst they could do is roll a 9. Oops, drop my dice. And a 2. So there, actually becomes a 1. 2 becomes 1. All right. So Britain is fine. Russia. Okay, they still have St. Petersburg. They've lost 3 major cities, but the link to the Russian Murmansk is open, and the southern route is open to the Black Sea. So there's a -1, -2. So there's only a +1 to the die roll. The roll of 4, and that becomes a 5. So Russia is still hanging in there. All right, so I think we covered everybody. So right now, Austria-Hungary is going to have problems with its morale for the next year. All right. So that is a major problem. Now, victory conditions only happen in 1916 and 1918. So at the moment, we got 1 year to decide this war. I think if it was decided now, I think it would go in the hands of the Central Powers. But we'll just see how this works out. Because right now, as you can see here, the Russians are slowly building back up their force because Mother Nature is slowing the Germans down. So they're not having any combat. That helps them. Helps the Germans too, because they don't have any troops that have to be replaced. But, it goes both ways. All right, back.